right, everybody. Welcome to you tonight to the program. It is day 27. Can you believe day 27? Welcome to all of you guys. I'll pop a couple of messages up here. You guys are rolling. I was able to grab an interview with Zhenya just a few minutes ago, and I'm going to show that. So I was having to process it right prior to going live. So it put me behind the 8 ball just a little bit, but we're okay. Evening, y'all. Love and prayers from Texas. Slava Ukraina. Myrna Scales, how about that one? Shalom, everyone. Agreed. Lynn Fireball. Lynn and Harold checking in from Chester, Virginia. Catherine Hamilton, God bless you. I like that name right there, the Zinkster. Hello, Bethel family. Jeremy Teeple, as always, checking in. Thank you, buddy, from Northbrook, Ontario, Canada. Judy Roberts checking in live tonight. She's usually an early morning watcher because her bedtime is 9:30. Let's see here. Y'all are rolling. Zinkster, good vibes. Kelly John, good evening. God bless Ukraine from Omaha, Nebraska. Welcome to you, Kelly John. Myrene Mayo, Oklahoma. I love it. You guys are learning so well because they watch it and they love seeing the different state names. Eric Wilson talked with Sasha for an hour last night. Awesome. That is fantastic. Sharon Emmett, 27 days. I'm sure Putin didn't think it would take this long. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Lori Swafford, I see you there. I've had quite a day, so I was unable to fix the hello, but it will be fixed. It's on my list for tomorrow. Anyway, we're all here. Network Gnome, God bless you. Nice seeing you. I see you there, boss. Thank you, guys. And PK, I think I saw him in here tonight somewhere. I don't know. It's rolling. So thank you very much. We love you guys, and it's time to get to it. Kathy Ballenbacker, Springboro, Ohio. Welcome to you from Springboro, Ohio. Where is Springboro, Ohio? Let's see here. Bill Reed and Janice from Greenville, Pennsylvania. Anyway, gonna be a good night. Thank you guys for being here, and we have a very full evening. Ray Boggs checking in from, I don't know if you're in South Carolina or you are in London. I know you were in London. All right, that's near Dayton, Ohio. Okay, it's by Lake Erie, Dayton. Now, one of y'all are wrong. Archie Callahan, Pastor Archie Callahan from the bridge tonight from UVA. Buddy, that's the best thing you've ever said. And I really deeply appreciate it, you North Carolina Tar Heel fan. Kathy is Carolyn's sister. That's correct. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Hi, Kathy. Well, let's get to it. We've got a full hour. And, folks, tonight is loaded. We're going to start. I've got Zhenya in here tonight. I talked with him 1 hour ago. I filmed it tonight. Listen, for the next hour, you need to lock in because I've got what Zelensky said today. I've got general staff. Folks, you're not going to believe. I'm going to show you some video clips tonight that happened today. But before I show you them, we're going to talk to Zhenya first, get an update from him, and he will confirm that the videos I'm going to show you are 100% accurate. We're going to talk about landmines. We're going to talk about Ukrainian prisons and give some updates on the cities. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this each night. This is 27 days in a row. I can tell you, I did speak with PK today. We are pushing 60K. We'll get an accurate number usually about every week. So what can we say? Thank you. Thank you for giving. Pastor Archie Callahan, Bridge Church, send us a check. I know you got it. Let's support Ukraine and give me a buzz. We're getting the money there immediately as they need it, supplying their needs, taking care of every facet of life there. So UNC, man, come on through for me. All right, everybody, let's get to it. We're going to start tonight. There you go. Thank you for the amen. We're going to start tonight with a chat I just had with Zhenya. He is probably just going to sleep now. He may be watching, but this happened 1 hour ago. And from there, we'll jump into everything. Here we go. This is Zhenya. All right, everybody. I've got Zhenya Matsutsa with me. Actually, right now, it is 7:52 p.m. Eastern, 1 hour and 8 minutes. Before we go live tonight, I'm still in my prep t-shirt. I haven't changed. I don't have the lights on, but he just called in. And I said, okay, let's get a quick recording here. So, Zhenya, how are you today? Save Mariupol. Okay. We're going to talk about Mariupol. How is it, man?
The day was a busy day. It's craziness, but sometimes it's like it is like crazy routine, but it is not a routine. But helping people and have been fixing cooperation with all. It is great, and it's when you realize you're excited. And in the end of the day, you can be exhausted, but it's becoming like it's like the style of life, and it's absolutely unusual. We have 26 days till 26.
Today is
days.
Actually
yes
27.
27
days, and I know because I've streamed every night, and I put the number on the thumbnail. So this is day 27. So we're basically almost 4 weeks of this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yesterday I was talking with Zolik. Last night I shared the shelter.org.ua. I shared the website. Mm-hmm. Zolik also sent me the videos of the interviews, so I've pointed people to those, and I'm also uploading them on my YouTube, and I gave the link to the website of shelter.org. So we're doing the best we can to get the news out, and we will continue. We're not going to stop, but let me just ask you a few questions. Are you tired?
Yes. More emotionally today because
today was a tough
day. I need emotion.
Emotional day?
Yes, sometimes yes, because in the war time, that time we have, as a leader, I have to make some, hard decisions.
Yes.
And because of responsibility for all. For people who we're ministering to, for volunteers, for safety of our city, and supporting our armies. And in the middle of all of it, sometimes I know that God understands me. That's it. So, it's interesting time.
You and I were talking about that, and you told me not to share the details of it, but I guess I can fairly say, because I know the story, not only are you providing for humanitarian aid and refugees, but you
Yes.
also have a security responsibility for people coming through. And
Yes.
even though it's humanitarian, it's refugees, it's doing the work of the gospel, you're still in a war, and you as the leader of that organization have a responsibility to your city and to your country to keep your eyes open. So
Yes, there is a protocol.
there's a protocol. So today we had a
Yes.
challenging protocol, and it's stressful, but we're making it. Now,
Yes, so we cooperate
we
with
cooperate.
some services. Cooperate, yes, with sometimes with police, sometimes not only, and it's because we fight for our country, and
Tonight,
all are good. Yes, go.
no, go ahead. You fight for your country. You're
Yes,
not
and
just
all organizations, including church, have to be not a sect, but have to be supportive, understandable, and uh, yes, like I mean, wise in their decision and even the way we help. That's it.
responsible.
Responsible.
Yes. Now tonight, Zhenya, I'm going to be showing a couple of videos, actually quite a few videos tonight, and it will be after, I'll roll this at the beginning of the program, which is in about an hour. But tonight, I want you to confirm what I'm showing. You'll be sleeping, but confirm
Okay.
before I show it and share with people tonight that what I'm showing them is true. So I'm going to show them tonight the video of the Americans who felt a call to come there on their own and serve, but they were in an accident with a mine, blown up.
Yes.
True story. Yes?
Yes, it's a true story, and our soldiers came to help immediately when they realized it, and
So
need help because yes.
That's one video I'm going to show. I'm also going to show the health secretary guy from Russia blaming COVID-19 on Ukraine. Is this true or not?
Yes. Yes, they were blaming it. Yes, it's official. It's just it's a competition. I mean,
It's
just
propaganda.
yes,
It's propaganda.
it's propaganda, but it's like sorry, it's a joke in Ukraine. Like that, there is a sometimes everything new coming like that. One day it's the DNA of Ukrainians were found by Russian pro scientists in the COVID. So the Ukrainians created COVID. The other day that they bombing the shopping place, and they blaming that we know for sure they were like doing some new, like I mean chemical or like biological weapons, and so laboratory, and it's like it's like let's say primitive fantastic stories, but this is so like it's every time it's new, so it's
But it's happening.
Yes, it's reality, and the worst thing that people there believe it in Russia.
That's all they see now. So they believe it.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna show one more video that I want you to confirm. A compilation video was released today of different strategists, different commentators, different political people discussing the reality that unless stopped, Ukraine is just one step in the plan for the military of Russia. The plan ultimately, and we've been discussing this on my program, even when you're not here, is the Baltics, Poland. They want to move even more. And so this video, you actually sent it to me. And I think Rostic, both of you and Rostic sent it to me at the same time, is a compilation. It's got English translated at the bottom. But these kind of conversations, this is not some Ukrainian hacker sitting in a basement making these videos. This is real. Yes,
this is real. Every person may check it, can check it officially. Going and search it and find it. On the internet or on different sources. It's just confirmed because people posting it as like, "Hey world, look what's going on, please see it," and the other posting it just, "Hey, here we are." This is like why all the world has to, be scared, like, because we can do crazy
we have
stuff.
this power. Yes. Well, this is kind of why, I was talking about last night on the program where it's just getting to the point now where I believe other nations are starting to recognize not only is this a real war, but this isn't stopping tomorrow. There's no peace treaty tomorrow. This is serious, and I think the world, many European nations, I still am saying Boris Johnson is beginning to act stronger and stronger and stronger out of Great Britain. And even I had to give a compliment to Joe Biden last night, which, listen, fair's fair. I'm not a fan, but he did some fairly strong things. So I had to say, good job. But the world's waking up to, well, this is not just a 1 week invasion and we're going to go home and say, okay, sorry. We'll just keep a little bit of Lugansk and bye-bye. Please forgive us. No, this is full-fledged war.
Yes, this is, I would say, please understand, like, nobody now, Russia, Ukraine, and the world, like, let's say, talking about Russia and Ukraine, nobody is trying to hide. If Russia not trying to hide their attitude to the world and they're challenging the world.
You know what, bud? Listen. When we say things and we communicate, and we've been doing this every day, we learn from each other. I think what you just said may be one of the most profound things that we've discussed in the last 27 days. And that is this. You're right. I didn't even think about it till now. Russia's not hiding this. In past, they would manipulate things and try to do military things, even in Crimea, even in Donbass, even in Kyiv with Maidan. No. But now we're firing hypersonic missiles and we're going, yep, we're shooting them. We're going to completely destroy cities in Ukraine. And yes, we're doing that. We're going to take your people to Russia. We just took 2,400 children out of the east into Russia, stole them. Yes, we're doing that. And Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, you're next. It's a completely different world. And bud, I didn't even think about it that way until you just made that statement. There's no hiding this time. This is what we're doing.
No. it
Good
is
point.
more open.
Well, thank you, bud. I know you're tired. Get you some rest, and I'll be watching for you. If I see anything, I'll call you, wake you up.
Okay, thank you.
Until
Thank
tomorrow.
you for staying with Ukraine.
Hey,
Okay.
mój stain w mieście do pobedy.
Do победы.
Do pobedy. We stand together
Amen.
until victory.
Amen.
Amen. There you have it, folks. That is the chat that Zhenya and I had basically 1 hour ago. During that, you guys were chatting and watching, a couple of things. The thought that he had there, as we were just having a conversation and talking about this time everything is open, is spot on. All the other things that have happened over the last decade in regard between Russia and Ukraine, yes, kind of open, but really has been hidden, whether it's in regard to Lugansk, Donetsk, Crimea, Maidan. It was never open. And just he and I having that discussion tonight brought that to the forefront. Zingster, thank you for the super chat there. We'll get that to them. Also, I like the PZ. So we've got PG and PZ and PK. And if you were in a message I preached about 6 weeks ago at the church, praise God, we don't have a PP. All right. Now, I did have a question come in, and this is perfect. Janine Catalano, thank you tonight for your question, and I'm going to answer it for you. It's wonderful tonight that actually our topic is what happens next, and the first slide I'm going to discuss is propaganda. So the question that come in is, hey, PG, I've heard that President Zelensky isn't a great person, that he has imprisoned the last president, and that he has made it impossible for anyone to ever run against him. Please let me know. Janine Catalano, I will be happy to answer your question. So let's look at it. Let's look at your first part. Because we need to learn together, folks. This isn't going away. It's going to get worse. I have heard. So, Diana Tarleton, I've heard the same thing. Wow. Okay, so let me ask you this question. And this is what we're learning together. I have heard. From who? Who do you believe? Do you believe media? Do you believe somebody on a news organization, whether Christian or secular, that has never even been there? Who do you believe? Do you believe the propaganda that's pushing throughout the world? And it's what we're going to talk about tonight. And when I show you a couple of these videos, I think it will help bring clarity to that. Let me tell you the truth. Volodymyr Zelensky is not a politician. Volodymyr Zelensky never had a desire to be in political office. In 2019, he ran for the presidency as a joke. He is an actor, a very famous actor. He's kind of Ronald Reaganish in his background, just a younger version of him. Of course, Ronald Reagan at this age was getting into politics in California, would later become the governor of California before moving on to the presidency in the 80s. The world hates righteousness. Satan hates righteousness. So, of course, I'm getting these messages all the time. I have heard. So my first answer would be always check your sources. But I can tell you, he is a great person. B, he has not imprisoned the last president. And he's made it impossible for anyone to ever run against him. No, that would be Vladimir Putin. In fact, I will validate it Yesterday, President Volodymyr Zelensky was talking about the surrendering of property in Ukraine that may be on the negotiating table. And President Zelensky said, a decision of this magnitude I could never make on my own. So just listen. A decision of that magnitude, I could never make it on my own. Anything at that point in time, when it comes to a negotiation to stop the war, on any surrendering of the ground that is sovereign Ukrainian territory, I cannot make that decision, but only the citizens of Ukraine, and it will be done by a referendum. So I can tell you for a fact that he's not a politician. I can tell you that no, he has not imprisoned the former president. In fact, okay, are you ready for this? I love it. Who is the former president? Who? The former president of Ukraine is Peter Poroshenko. And Poroshenko is actually working with Zelensky, saying right now it is time for all Ukrainians to stand together. The president that you may be referring to would either be Yanukovych or Kuchma, and I'm going back in history. They're both Russian puppeteers. Let's even go here, Cam Main. Let's go to desktop. I'll just pull up a CNN article here. This is President Peter Poroshenko being interviewed by CNN. He is working together with Zelensky and the Ukrainian military. Why it matters. Former President Poroshenko was asked by CNN, man, you're making me pull this stuff up on the fly. Would you battle against Russia? Poroshenko replied, yes, I'm ready, unfortunately. It's a unifying decision that echoes, why it matters, that of President Zelensky, who defeated Poroshenko in 2009. That's the former president, and he is working together. So I hope that answers. Just always check your source and be here each night. I promise you, I'm going to tell you the truth. Secondly, I'm talking to the Ukrainians from inside Ukraine, not some reporter who doesn't even know his head from a hole in the ground when it comes to Ukrainian culture and history that we know. So let's go right to what we want to talk about tonight, and that is the power, perfect lead-in, thank you, of propaganda. Propaganda is information which is false or emphasizes just part of a situation used by the government or a political group to make people agree with them. What we are seeing right now is a complete war of propaganda. It's unbelievable amount of propaganda. But let me show you a little bit of reality. When I first interviewed Zhenya tonight, Zhenya PZ, and asked him, remember, he held up his phone. Saying, save Mariupol. Let me show you a little bit of Mariupol today. He said, this is my entrance to the door. My apartment. A man went home today to check his home from a shelter. It's just gone, people. It's just gone. This is his yard. And he was showing his doorway. Folks, that's the reality. So the power of propaganda. I want to talk about that a little bit. Let's start with this tonight. I told you guys when I was interviewing Zhenya on the videos that I was going to show tonight, could he confirm them? And he did. In fact, Zhenya is the one that sent me this video today. It is not in English, but it has the captions in English, so you'll be able to read. Folks, buckle your seatbelts, because for the next 2 minutes and 23 seconds, you're probably not going to believe what you're going to see.
И если вы считаете, что мы остановимся на Украине, подумайте 300 раз. Напомню вам, что Украина – это всего лишь промежуточный этап в обеспечении стратегической безопасности Российской Федерации.
У нас кончится терпение, мы просто запустим что-нибудь тяжелое в сторону Вашингтона и Лондона.
Польша доиграется. Было 3 раздела Польши. 4-й будет последний.
Границы России нигде не заканчиваются.
Придет время, и Польше ничего не останется. И от Прибалтики.
Мне кажется, что государства под названием Литва и государства под названием Польша ведут себя слишком нагло. Слишком нагло. И не понимают еще, так сказать, да, что вот на самом деле с ними можно разобраться быстрее, чем с Украиной.
Пускай пищат, кричат, да, это бомбардировщики, которые способны нести ядерное оружие, но у нас нет другого выхода.
Наши подлодки способны выпустить более 500 ядерных боеголовок, что гарантированно уничтожают США и все страны НАТО в придачу. Это по принципу «зачем нам мир, если в нем не будет России?». И сейчас вся российская триада переведена в особый режим боевого дежурства.
Если мы снова нашу армию подведем к западным границам, они трусливые, они боятся, их нужно брать испугом, кнутом.
Мы ни в коем случае не можем остановиться на полпути.
С такими санкциями, кто сказал, что надо останавливаться вообще в границах Украины?
Например, может выглядеть сценарий по, собственно, захвату Прибалтики.
Да и Россия – единственная страна в мире, которая реально способна превратить США в радиоактивный пепел.
That, my friends, is a compilation of videos that has been put together, translated. That was military strategist. That was President Vladimir Putin. That was the #1 political commentator in Russia. I think his name is Stroyovsky. Crazy. I asked Zhenya, was this one accurate? And I'm going to show it to you. Pull this up. In case you guys did not know it, COVID-19 started in Ukraine. You will not understand this, but I will translate it for you. I have the translation. This is the health secretary for Russia today.
Неожиданно мы с вами начинаем наблюдать, что в деле распространения пандемии коронавируса последние несколько лет проявляется, обнаруживается четко украинский след, поскольку это было отдельным направлением исследования в этих биологических лабораториях, финансируемых Пентагоном, именно распространение ковида, всех инфекций SARS на всевозможном виде перепончатого.
What did he say? He said that coronavirus was invented by the Ukrainians. A part of their DNA is what was used to help create it. In conjunction with the Pentagon, Russian deputies found Ukrainian traces in the creation of the coronavirus, and that they are going to sue financially Ukraine and the United States for damaging the world's global economy. I asked the Ukrainian, was this accurate? Folks, it is. This is the power of propaganda. That's why it doesn't surprise me when, people ask me questions, and I'm getting more and more every day. Is this real? Is this fake? I've heard this, I've heard that, and that's why I'm patient. I want you to know the truth. I've worked there for 25 years and I speak the language. I know Ukraine. I promise you. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I have nothing to gain from telling you the truth other than the truth being told, and it is worth it. Every day I give you an update on what President Zelensky said in the General Staff. Zelensky said today he made a new appeal to the people of Ukraine. He said, we will work, we will fight till the end. We will be brave and we will be open at all sites with full energy for the best result with all of our strength, and do not get tired. We will rest after we win. Now, earlier I was having to answer a question about the humanity of President Zelensky. And it's okay, fair question. I'm glad, ask the questions. I'd rather me try to find the answer for you. And if I don't know, I will call Ukraine and ask people that I trust with my life. Zelensky, if you want to hear about the humanity of the person, I've shown videos of him serving the people, hospitals, being in the danger zones, not leaving his country. He was offered an escape from the United States and he turned it down. I'm here. I'm Ukrainian. And he will fight to the death, I promise you. But today, Zelensky made a statement, and I want to share it with you. This is the humanity of the man. He said, please, when we capture the enemy, or we're talking about the enemy, that's Russia, there is no need to dehumanize the enemy. Please do not humiliate prisoners or attempt to humiliate the citizens of Russia who have no control over what is happening in their nation. We, as Ukrainians, are not barbarians. What a beautiful, beautiful statement. There it is. An independent confirmation. I watched an interview of him today telling his people they are not barbarians. They will treat people with respect. What an amazing guy. Bless Ukraine. That's correct. PK. And our response as believers, we pray, trust, and serve one another. We do not let fear overtake us. That's correct. I love it. General Staff, today, the Russian airplanes flew 80 sorties, including 29 sorties. And I'm not a military guy, but I do know that is a airplane mission when they fly a sortie to do a job. It's called a sortie, and I'm sure the veterans in here will correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's what a sortie is. 80 sorties were flown, 29 sorties, bombers and fighters took off from the nation of Belarus. General Staff, just before I went online tonight, reported with the exclamation points. They put exclamation points on their reports when it is, vitally important versus just transferring data. And this one had exclamation points where it says, our source in diplomatic circles reports that Russia, through closed channels, transmitted a signal to Poland that it is ready to launch a preventive strike against major Polish cities in the event that they continue with this anti-Russia rhetoric and their unending support for Ukraine. And I can tell you the same thing that happened before Russia was invaded. And I'm just telling you what's happening. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but I'm telling you what's happening. The Russian diplomats in Warsaw are preparing to leave the country and go back home. Russian forces continue to shell our cities to destroy them, residential areas, historical monuments, schools, hospitals, and civilian industrial centers. Our military, our ground forces are doing well to hold the lines of defense in different areas throughout Ukraine. So due to this stalemate of battles, Russia is increasing the attacks that are coming from the air. So that's the general staff, that's the president, and what they're doing. Now, talking about decency, let me show you something in English here. A few Americans went over to help. Remember, Zhenya confirmed this one as well. In fact, he sent it to me. Here we go.
Yeah, this is so...
It's in the Kyiv Oblast, in Kyiv.
Ready in the center. They're gonna be ready, motivate.
I felt a calling to come here. I felt like it was the right thing to do. I feel like what's happening here, what Putin is doing is evil, and there's no reason to be putting all these people, millions and millions of people, through the suffering and torment that they're going through, and I felt like I needed to be here and try to help in any way that I can.
There's a lot of evil out there, and I don't like what they're doing to these civilians and what they're doing to all these people. And my boys and me feel the same way about, there has to be justice in this world for people that want to live free. And that's what we fought for.
Right after it happened.
No, it's like no freaking clue.
Well, when you get
we gotta wait.
Yeah. And I just got your message.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys did too, yeah.
I was working as a combat medic, and we, in our vehicle, hit a mine and blew up.
Vehicle went up in the air, we came down, we all hopped out, then the Ukrainian army showed up, helped us out of there and got us medevac back to here, so.
And there you have it, folks. A little bit of what was happening with some American volunteers that were, as they said, blown up by a mine and saved by the Ukrainian army. Thank you, Ukrainian army. As far as mines are concerned, kind of interesting that they sent me that video today, because today, this is going to shock you guys, but you need to hear this. Right now, you have to consider the scope of this war. And right now, here is a release from Ukraine, and you can see the number in the middle, 82,525 kilometers squared. And you see the shaded regions of the territories in the north, in the northeast, in the east, and the south. Everywhere you see shaded landmines, 82,525 square kilometers of land has been mined in Ukraine by the Russian military. Now, I know most of us in here watching are Americans, although we have many foreign people from wonderful foreign nations, Canada, Philippines, African nations, of course, through Europe, that watch this as well. And you may understand kilometers, but Americans do not. So I'm going to convert it. 80, let's just round that up to 83,000, if that's okay. So 83,000 square kilometers. And you're saying, okay, well, how big is that? The state of South Carolina is 82,932 square kilometers. All of these states are smaller than the land area that is mined in Ukraine. West Virginia, Maryland, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Connecticut, Delaware, Rhode Island, and the District of Columbia. South Carolina is the closest one to compare. Just imagine that the entire state of South Carolina was full of landmines. That is what Ukraine is dealing with right now. There's another thing that we haven't thought about or talked about, but I received some information on this just last night. 5 Ukrainian prisons have been captured. Now, you say, okay, well, they're prisoners. Well, they've been captured and completely disconnected from anything in Ukrainian services. These are in captured territories by the Russian military, and all communication from Kyiv to these prisons have been lost. So when you think about a war, when you think about captured territory, you have to think about everything: infrastructure, people's jobs. We're going to talk about Chernihiv in a second, but even prisons now under the foreign rule of Russia. What this means is Ukraine has no clue what is happening in those prisons, what is being offered. I mean, just think about it for a moment. They've lost connection with those prisons. Just so you know, I told you that, 80 some sorties were flown today, 29 out of Belarus. What you see right here on the map is the 40 military bases, landing strips, and places where Russian aviation military is launching and flying sorties over Ukrainian territory. Folks, other than Poland, Romania, and Moldova, they've got it covered. And this is why the continual discussion about closing the skies. General Staff reported today that the invasion of Belarus is imminent. And it's not just going to be the Belarusian military, but it's going to be the Russian military with the Belarusian military. In fact, right now, right before I went on, I was getting some information that there are train loads of equipment pushing down through Russia, through Belarus, to the Ukrainian border with supplies, with troops, with the materials needed to invade. Now, the purpose of the Belarusian side invasion, you see the 3 cities there that are in the rectangles, Kovel, Lutsk, and Vladimirets, which is above Rovno. Right below Rovno is Khmelnytsky. But this region, the purpose of this invasion is to block the roads so that any support coming via the roads from Europe cannot get through. We'll say, well, they're coming by trains. Well, how risky is that? And I showed you last night where even train tracks are being removed. So this is what's happening right now. We'll keep more on that. This is the city of Kramatorsk. This is the mayor of Kramatorsk. His name is Alexander Goncharenko. And he put out an alert today. The picture on the left, this is the power of media. The things that I show, I confirm them before I show them to you, and they've already happened. But today in Kramatorsk, some of the citizens of Kramatorsk, and you say, okay, where's Kramatorsk, PG? I'll just remind you real quickly. Kramatorsk is right over here. Let me zoom out here. So here is Mariupol over in the east, Donetsk, and Kramatorsk due north of that. And of course, here's the Russian border. Kramatorsk, people were live streaming. Listen to me. This is why the mayor went on, gave this big alert. People were live streaming Ukrainian reinforcements coming, specifically fuel and ammo trucks coming in, because this is a battled region right here. Well, those vehicles were blown up, and the mayor was very direct. He says, we must stop live streaming the positions of our military. Today, we live streamed fuel trucks, munition trucks, and they were blown up. Our soldiers lost their lives. This is the change of war in 2022. So high tech, so media driven, so propaganda driven. And you say, well, there was propaganda in World War II. Yes, but it took you 2 weeks to get it through an envelope or a newspaper that was 2 weeks late. Now the propaganda, the power of the media is instantaneous. We have to be very, very careful. So it was a pretty scathing remark there to his citizens in Kramatorsk to stop it. Folks, Chernihiv today confirmed that they now have no electricity and no water. You say, I keep hearing about the city of Chernihiv. How big is it? 300,000 people. Now, many of those have moved on as refugees, but many are still trapped. And this evening, Chernihiv lost completely all electricity and all water. Now, let's think about that for a second. You're at home right now in your warm house, maybe sipping on a glass, a cup of coffee, watching the program. What is the temperature right now in Chernihiv? Oh, it's nice and warm. 35 degrees. No electricity and no water. I want to tell you guys about the city of Trostianets. Trostianets is just below Sumy. I'll show you guys right here. Here, let me get the right pin. Here is Sumy. Here is Sumy. And just below it is Trostianets, right there. And this is the Russian border. And here's Kharkiv. Trostianets is gone. I mean, it's a town, it's a regional center, 25,000 people. Most have left as refugees, but the city has been burned to the ground. Gone. Reality, folks. Reality. So I wanted to share about Trostianets. Kherson. I showed you last night the video of Kherson, and I just showed you the beginning of it, where people were being attacked. Yes, people were killed as they were protested. I did not show that. I just showed the beginning of it. Today, the same things were happening. Kherson is already occupied territory, but the people that are still there, and this is a city of 250,000 people, the people in Kherson are being brutalized. Additionally, beginning April the 1st, so that's like in, 9 days, something like that, the Ukrainian currency of the hryvnia will no longer be accepted. It will be Russian rubles only. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Mariupol. Oh, I want to show you guys this tonight. Just talking about Poland earlier, when we were talking about Poland and, just the pressure coming against Poland, the Polish people and the Ukrainian people that are refugees in Poland, maybe you've heard about this. I mentioned it the other night, have been doing a blockade of trucks coming into Belarus. Those are trucks that are heading into Belarus and then on to Russia. You're talking about the economies of the world being so messed up. That line of trucks waiting to get in is 22 kilometers long. I think that takes care of everything tonight, folks. It's been a informative hour, and I hope I've been able to answer some questions. I thank you so much for being here. And please, as we go along, whenever you have a question, never be afraid to ask. You know, that was a pretty tight question earlier, talking about and asking about President Zelensky. Please always ask the questions. If I do not know the answers, we'll look them up and we will get them back to you. As always, thank you for being here. So much changes in 23 hours. It's unbelievable. We will be here again tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern, with another update for day 28. Thank you for being here. Remember, your job, our job, working together. As PK said even earlier, praying, sharing, liking, commenting, sharing the truth, just step by step. And of course, I like to call it now, giving up the one Applebee's per week and supporting. Thank you for that. We're doing a great job. The best, I believe, is yet to come. We speak peace over Ukraine, peace over the world, and tonight, especially, peace to your spirits and hearts. Thank you for all that you are doing. We love you guys. Of course, may God bless you. May God bless America. And may God bless Ukraine tonight. Peace in the name of Jesus. See you in 23 hours. Good night. God bless.